Good day, this is Thumbs United. We're doing a creative stream, part of the weekend creative stream. I know it's Friday, but Friday is like virtually the weekend. Friday is like half the day is the weekend. So we're restoring 35mm film for flotations. A lot of the photography is from Flint, Michigan. A few of them aren't, but like 90% of them are. So let's get started. And we already edited the brightness and contrast and everything, and so now we're just removing dust and scratches on the film. So that's kind of the plan today. My goal is to do 7 or 8 images, but we're essentially going until I get tired. I'm doing another creative stream tonight, sometime between 9 and 11 p.m. Eastern time, and for that one we're going to be editing more. We're going to be editing Mass Effect 2, the musical, which is a musical series, and with footage from Mass Effect. I took all the footage from the Let's Play, and we're editing it down. It's been sped up using kind of time-lapse techniques, and so it's 4 times the real-time speed, and then like we edit things out like shaky cam and cut down the cutscenes and stuff, and it's all set to like some dubstep music and everything to make it more exciting. But so that's what's happening tomorrow. We've edited in terms of source material for Mass Effect the musical. We've already edited 3 episodes of our Let's Play, so I believe it's like 7 episodes of the musical that we were able to get out of that. So that's pretty good. We're getting about 2 or 3 episodes out of each Let's Play, which is fantastic. I'm trying to build up, like I'm doing all this editing because I want to build up a queue for Patreon, because I'm gonna start posting a ton of stuff to Patreon, and then it's gonna start trickling out to the public places like Twitch and YouTube. So I want to get a ton of stuff ready for September, and then towards the middle of September things are gonna start coming to Twitch, and like I've been working so hard on editing that we're gonna have just a steady flow of content. I'm not gonna slow down editing. Once it starts, trickling out, I actually plan on doing more. But so that's kind of, and I do maybe, well, in terms of like file management, but actual editing, I do about 4 or 5 hours of video editing a day. So it's a lot, but I enjoy doing it. And then I stream like 2 or 3 hours of it a day. So right now we're kind of in a funny period. My Linux nodes, the Linux boxes, are only one is working right now. The other one is off, and my sister's laptop died, and like it was beyond dead. Like usually the hard drive, you can, it might work like 10% of the time, but this hard drive was just toast. So I took apart one of my backup hard drives and put it in the laptop. My sister gave it to me. She already got a new laptop, and I put the backup hard drive in and installed Linux on the MacBook Pro, and then I've been installing the packages and everything. So that laptop is now ready to become part of the Linux box family. which is like a nice surprise. I have to, well, it's a nice addition. So it saves me money of buying parts for the Linux box. So now I have 3 Linux boxes that are like ready to render, and they are going to start rendering probably within like the next week. Like I'm gonna make the Linux farm fully operational, and everything's gonna be rendering. I still have to write the script for live to tape. I'm not really worried about it. I have the story and all the research done for it. It should take like 2 days to write. But that's one of the series that is going to be coming back in September to Patreon. And then it should be coming out at the end of September on YouTube and Twitch. My goal for live to tape is to write as many scripts as I can in August, and then I can just do the voiceover and focus on editing in September, because we're almost done with August. I want to write at least 12 episodes of live to tape, and maybe 6 episodes of Project Newfoundland. Project Newfoundland is harder to write because so much of it is research based, but I'm getting better at it. Live to tape is about, the scripts are like 5,000 to 7,000 words, and Project Newfoundland is about 4,000 words for each episode. And then I was trying to do a lot of web development stuff today before the stream, but I got sidetracked. My sister, we have this multi-car garage, and my sister was like, "Oh, I'm gonna invite my boyfriend to help me clean the garage," and I was like, "It's literally a 10-minute job. You know, there was like maybe 15 things we had to move, so she could park her car in the garage." And so I woke up kind of grumpy today. Not really, but like I stayed up late last night. I went to bed at 4:30 in the morning, which is fine because today is my day off. So like I planned to like party hard last night, streaming Halo, because that's how I have fun. And then my mom came and woke me up, and she was like, "Do we have an extension cord?" And I was like, "You woke me up for that?" And so then I was like, "Oh, I guess I'll get up." You know, I'm super tired, super sore. I was lifting like the past 2 days. I've been chopping up this tree. It's about 800 pounds, and so I was chopping it, sawing it into smaller pieces with a handsaw, and then transporting the pieces somewhere else into the forest. And so my muscles are like dead, and they're at the point where they hurt, and I know they're gonna be like super sore over the next couple of days, but they're like comes in waves. They're like, "We're not sore yet, but we will be." And so it's like, "Oh no, this is gonna be dreadful." But I have the next 2 days off, so hopefully I recover. So I was super sore, and then I was kind of grumpy that I woke up, you know, on my day off. So my sister's like, "Oh, you know, my boyfriend's gonna come help to clean the garage," and it's like, it's a 15-minute job. So I go to the garage, and I just move all this stuff. It wasn't that much, and I said, "Okay, park your car to make sure we moved everything and it fits." So she comes, parks the car, and there's like one more thing I had to move for it to fit, and that was it. It was literally, it took me 7 minutes to do all that. And I was like, "How long have you said you were going to be doing this?" And she was like, 2 months. I was like, "Well, you're welcome. I did it for you." So that's good, because she's going back to school. And so we want her to store her car in the garage. It's kind of funny because we used to store my car in the garage, but then something happened and the garage door broke. So I was like, oh, I'll park it outside. So I parked it outside, and then after a week of parking it outside, a tree fell on it. I was like, oh, I should have just fixed the garage instead of, parking outside. I would still have a car. And so half of me, like, I'm saving up for a new Mini Cooper. But I'm over halfway there. I have to do my billing. What happens is I get partial payments, and then I submit my my billing later. And so I have to do my billing for like the past 4 months. And like I get paid about $200 a month. But I make, in terms of hours, I make like between $600 and $700 a month. And so it's kind of like the rest of the money is like an IOU. And then that money is going to the car. But I have currently I have about 11,000 saved up for the car, and half of me is playing with the idea of getting like a temporary car and that I fix up. So I'm gonna start looking online, and like I don't want to pay more than like $2,000 for it, if that makes sense. I have to see with the billing how much I made this month. But if I get the temporary car, it would be something like a minivan, preferably a Toyota. And then with the minivan, I'm going to convert it to be a camper van. And then I'll be able to like travel more. So that's kind of where I am. I'm still going to get the Mini Cooper, but I'm thinking of, getting the minivan. The problem with the used cars is you never know how well the owner took care of the car. Like maybe they had to change the oil and they didn't change it for like 7 months, and so the engine's like, stressed out a lot. And then you get people like our family, like we drive a lot and do a lot of cross-country stuff. And like we take good care of the car, but we like run the car into the ground. And so you never know. I mean, like you kind of know because how many miles they are, but you don't know like what they were doing at the miles. Like if they were driving the speed limit and it has 100,000 miles and they weren't really stressing the engine, then the engine's in like good condition, transmission's in good condition. But if they have like 100,000 miles and they're always like driving like a maniac, pushing the engine farther than it should, and things like that, especially in something like a minivan, then the transmission might be like close to dead. You don't know if they go like four-wheeling with it, or you have to go slowly over speed bumps or else it wrecks your transmission. So you don't know if like the person lives in Pothole City and their suspension is almost dead. So used cars give me a lot of anxiety, but I'm like willing to explore it. And the good news is that I'm finally old enough to get my insurance lowered. It happened like 2 years ago, and the insurance went down. For guys, for men, the insurance is higher than for women, and it reduces kind of 2 times over the dude's life. Once a guy turns 25 and hasn't had any like accidents or anything, then the insurance goes down. And then once a guy gets married, then the insurance goes down again. which is kind of shady because you have to get married to get the lower price. But the thinking is, if you're stable enough to get married, then you're like stable enough to drive and you don't have to pay as high a premium. And then the other thing is, like, they think that young guys are, scary drivers and impulsive. And so that's why younger guys, the insurance is higher. It's kind of the loose age where they increase it is around 24, 25 for guys. They decreased my bill when I turned 25 and had no accidents, which is the important part. So this image has kind of a little bit more scratches and dust than the other ones have had, which is why it's taking so long. And the other reason why we're able to see so much dust is this image has such a shallow depth of field that most of the image is out of focus. So really sharp things like dust and speckles shows up, because like if you look around, it's like gentle, not color changes, but gentle tone changes. And so the dust is like high contrast. So it really pops up in this low contrast kind of smooth areas. Now we go piece by piece and really start to perfect it. This is where like the art comes in. Getting some quality assurance. I guess I'm getting kind of hungry. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. It's 3:30. So So after the stream, I'm gonna go do that. I was so busy yesterday that I didn't eat breakfast till like 6 p.m. And I wasn't hungry for most of the day. But I started to get the shakes, the low blood sugar shakes. And then I was like, okay, I have to eat. So then I ate some oatmeal. And I was so full. I was like full for hours. It was like the nicest feeling. Because usually, like, I always have kind of a hungry, like a little bit of hunger, feeling of hunger even after I ate, or I ate a lot of food. And part of that is, it's a side effect. But, oh my goodness, someone's doing something above me. And, well, I don't know why I was telling you guys about the hunger. I just forgot. The soccer ball has, dust on actually on the soccer ball. So we're not going to remove those. So the image is getting cleaner, closer to the bottom. Okay, we are done. This is the image. Now I'll go open up the next one. Now the next one is downtown Flint. Edit with Lightroom adjustments. And each one of these images is 60 megapixels because it's black and white. Because it's black and white, it's only like 140 megabytes. But if it was color, it'd be around 500 megabytes. I did a test scan of a color negative. And oh my goodness, the quality was just so much higher than digital. It's like a one-eyed smiley face. That piece of dust. That's too funny. So I'm definitely gonna shoot more film. There's another project. I'm thinking about making another website, and it's not gonna be like a full website. It's gonna be part of Flotations. But I have to check if the domain name is available. And then then I'll start making the stuff. But the new site, I want to start taking pictures of people and like models and stuff, and which is, you know, kind of glamour photography. It's not fashion photography. Fashion photography is, it's like when you're trying to sell something like a perfume, a watch, a necklace, a dress. That's really what fashion photography. Glamour photography is more photography about the model and everything. So I want to do like a fine art series of photographs that's like focused on different models and stuff, male and female. Ideally, I would like to shoot 1-to-1 ratio. So for every time I use a female model, I want to use a male model afterwards. Because you have to have equality. Have to. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. But it, oh my goodness, here's the thumbprint. It's kind of in a dangerous area. And undo. Because there's the spot heel is like, okay, let's try that. Okay, it's doing a good job so far. Huge thumbprint. Do. So I'm just gonna remove that. You guys can like steal my identity. With this thumbprint. It just keeps getting larger and larger. And I did my best to scan, you know, with gloves and everything. Okay, that made it worse. Okay, the thumbprint is gone. Now we're gonna go back across. Do. Save it. I'm gonna take a short break. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry that took so long. I was getting really hungry and I was like, I can't end the stream and then have nothing ready. So I took, we had some dehydrated beans. They're really good. They're like pinto beans that are ground up and dehydrated. So it's just like a powder of beans. And you just add hot water and it's like, it's better than refried beans. It's like beans you would use for nachos or something. So that's what I did. I put it on the hot water pot, made the beans, and then I'm letting them cool down. That way they'll be ready to eat when I'm done. And then I ate a banana. That's what took a long time. It was it's not overripe, but it's getting there. So there is a window of where I can eat the banana, where it's like, what is the word? Or it's not green. Like I like it right after it's green. Like it's still hard. Because it is a texture problem for me. See, I don't know what this is. It looks like that's splotches. We might have to leave those. Okay, we're getting a few pieces of dust here. Do. So you think this is obviously a cloud. But I don't know what this is. It's not like an out of focus cloud. Do. Okay, that looks better because it was like really white, which made no sense. I think it was like some damage to the film. So the good news, I just found out I'm getting paid. Yay! And I'm gonna get paid not double, but I wasn't paid in July. So that payment's coming pretty soon too. So that's good. I was getting worried. There was something else. Oh, so I'm going to be able to develop that film from Milwaukee. What I'm going to do is I'm going to develop the 35mm first. Because there's like 160 photos. And so it will take me like a month to develop that. Not a month to process that. Like it will take like a week or two to develop. But then to scan it and go through all the negatives. And we essentially have to do this. Where we edit everything. And remove all the dust from the scanner and all that. So that's going to take me like a month or 2 months. So I'm going to get that developed first. And that gives me a chance to see if I like the the company I'm going to use, and then I will I'll develop the medium format film that's in color. And that way it just spreads out the the dent in the bank account. It's going to be to develop both the 35mm and the medium format. It would cost $100, and I'm really trying to build up my saving account, so I don't want to spend half my paycheck on film development, because I am going to be ordering more film, and like I said, I'm going to try to do a project where shooting with more models. And it's going to start off where I want to ask some of my friends who do modeling. Like, I would pay them, but yeah. I feel like we just kind of jumped back here. I don't remember doing all that. I guess I'm just in the zone, editing a lot of just, going through and editing, thinking about stuff in my head. Oh, I guess that banana really helped. I already feel better, less hungry. Okay, we're almost done. Do, 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 do. Getting rid of this streak. And that's an actual shadow. Do, do, do. Okay, we're done with this one. So that's the image. And we're going to the next one. If I can reach. So we've only done 2 so far. And I wanted to do 7 or 8. So we're going to be here a while. I guess we're doing like all the horizontal stuff. Which is good. So then I don't have to redo the layout. And this photo is also in downtown Flint. This area is really like the college town. We have Kettering. There is the University of Michigan Flint. There is Mott Community College, which is one of the highest ranking colleges in the U.S. And then there is the medical school from Michigan State. It used to be just a nursing school, but now I think they opened it up to being doctors as well. And it's like not a clinic, but it's like a small hospital. And most of the nurses and doctors, they are like in training. Not a lot of damage. We'll see once we get to the bottom of the image. Do. Here we go, getting rid of this. I'm gonna save. You really have to save like you're paranoid. Because the computer will always try to pwn you. That's actually supposed to be there. Okay, rid of that. This is a giant thumbprint. Just going, trying to remove some of the obvious lines. Do. That's a lot better. That's all the way up here too. Good thing I checked. And you have to really go kind of with the grain of the. It doesn't look like it's an actual thumbprint. It looks like it's aliasing from the printer and from the negative. Sometimes that happens. And it kind of looks like a thumbprint, but that one was too elongated to be a thumbprint. So this was a fast one. Do. Okay, saving. So this is the image. Do. And then We're really lucky. All horizontal stuff. Okay, I'm gonna take another short break. It'll be faster this time. I'm gonna just grab my jacket. It's kind of cold. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry that took so long. I left. I checked on the beans, and then my sister was like, "You got debts to pay." I was like, "Ugh." So I went to my room, cracked open my piggy bank. She wasn't happy. I had $5 in my wallet, and I had the other 5 in coins, but I had to like count the coins, so that took forever. So I gave her $5 and a $5 bill and the other 5 in coins, and then she's gonna take me to the bank, and I'll give her the last 20. I bought a lens from her. It was very funny. She asked for, I think it was a birthday present. She asked for a 50mm lens, either a 1.8 or 1.2, and my parents misread it, so they got her a 50mm lens, a 1.2, and a 50mm 1.8. So she had 2 of them. And so then when I was taking photos for the Milwaukee project, I was like, you know what, I'll ask my sister. She was willing to sell her lens. She said yeah, so she said $50. So I gave her, she said I could make payments, so I gave her $20, and then just gave her the $10. So now I have to give her the other $20 today. And then that's it. I own the lens. So that was nice of her. And yeah, and so I have a 55mm 1.8. So you might be like wondering, why did you pay for another 50mm 1.8? And the reason is, like, my eyes are starting to get kind of bad, and so the 55mm lens I have is manual focus only. It's an old mechanical lens, and it's fine, you know, it works well, but like I said, I'm just having a harder time focusing. I do need new glasses, but so I wanted a 55mm lens that had autofocus that I could trust, and like I trust Canon's autofocus. And the images turned out pretty good. It really helped because I did a lot of shooting from the car window, so I didn't want people to think, you know, I'm taking photos of them, because I wasn't. I was taking pictures of the building. So the car window actually has a small amount of tint to it to block out the UV light, and so I was able to shoot, you know, with an aperture of 1.8 and have the shutter speed pretty high, because like my mom was driving and I was taking pictures, you know, outside the window. And so I was getting shutter speeds through the window, which was shaded, of like 1/80th of a second, sometimes going up to like 1,250th of a second. So that was really good. And so there's a big difference between an aperture of 3.5 and an aperture of 1.8. Most of my lenses, well, my favorite lens is an aperture of 3.5 to 5.6, and it's a 70 to 138 millimeter lens, and that's my favorite for digital, even though on the digital camera I shoot with a cropped sensor. And the reason why it's a cropped sensor is because it's cheaper to make a smaller sensor. It still is a 35mm sensor. It's just not full 35mm. It takes 35mm lenses natively. But so there is a crop factor of 1.7, and so that makes the 70 to 138 even larger zoom. But that's fine by me. And there's a little bit of a thumbprint here. Just kind of gently remove it. Okay, it's gone. And a giant piece of dust. So later today I'm going to pay my sister. Then I'm going to order the film to be developed and send it off. I'm actually going to wait. I'm going out of town like the 30th. So I'm going to send it the second I leave. And then it should be back by the time we get back. And that thumbprint has returned. Oh, and I checked the website for the lab I'm sending it to. There was 2 labs I had narrowed down my search for developing the film. And one of them said, "Oh, we actually send back your film. Most labs don't do that." And I was like, uh-oh. So then I checked the other lab, and they're like, "Yeah, we send back the film, a CD, and something else. A CD with the digital prints, and then the actual negative." So I'm like, oh god. The one I decided to go to is a little bit more expensive. It's about $20 more expensive, but shipping is included. And it's only shipping to California. The other one, the shipping is not included. It's included if you spend $100 more, but because they cost less, I'm not spending $100. So that's kind of a bummer. And then the other thing is that shipping to Canada. And Canada, international shipping is more. And so even though the cost to develop it is $70, it goes over. It's too difficult to ship, too much to ship. Shipping actually costs more. And then this statue is a statue of some of the people that founded GM. Flint used to be pretty well off when all the car manufacturers were here. Like there was a factory, and you were pretty much guaranteed a job. You could always go work in the factory and make like a decent amount of money. But then GM started to leave Michigan to go to other places, and they shut down like 90% of the factories that used to be here for making the cars. And some of the car companies went out of business. Like more recently, Pontiac went out of business. Oldsmobile went out of business. There was a couple more older ones that went out of business. And then the GM factory left. The Delphi factory left, which makes parts for GMC. And so where 90% of the jobs came from these car manufacturing, they all left kind of overnight. And so that plunged Flint into a huge depression, before everyone else. Like everyone's talking about the depression of 2008, but it was significantly worse and started in the 70s and 80s for Flint, and it's just never recovered. There's never been like a replacement of jobs compared to what there used to be. So that's why Flint kind of became really strapped for cash and difficult to live in and find a job. And like all the businesses that used to make money, like not directly from the car factory, but all the workers would, spend money shopping or going out to eat and stuff. But because everyone was out of work, everyone kind of, stopped shopping, stopped going out to eat and all that stuff. So even a lot of the restaurants had to leave and all that stuff. So it really affected everyone. And these were some of the founders, like the original founders of GMC. And GMC is General Motors Company, and they produce the cars for several manufacturers. So they produce cars for Chevrolet, Cadillac, and then it makes its own cars. But a lot of times they're the exact same car. So if you buy like a Chevy Tahoe, it's the same as the Yukon from GMC, and then it's the same as the Escalade from Cadillac, but the Cadillac has higher end features. It's more luxurious and stuff, and so like it's the same chassis, same engine, but better features for the Cadillac. The Chevrolet, which is kind of my favorite company for American cars, is it's more it's not like bare bones, but it's like a higher up car. It's not as high as like a Cadillac in terms of luxury, but it's pretty good. And then there's GMC, which is more like bare bones, kind of basic. And yeah, like I said, I like the Chevrolet the best out of the American car companies. So I think this is going to be our last image. I got a lot of stuff to do today. We didn't make our goal, which is fine. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're 2 photos short of our goal, but like I said, I got stuff to do. So let's finish this one with style. And I am doing another creative stream tonight, sometime between 9 and 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah, the one Linux box is still plugging and chugging. It's combining the stuff with video time lapse. It's the 4K video time lapse. If you want to see more like video time lapse to see what I'm talking about, you can watch the story time episodes either on Twitch or on YouTube from Life to Tape. On Twitch, the videos are there. I have created a collection of the story time videos, and they're the ones of driving across America. And it's like it's sped up, but then it's also time modulated. So what I'm doing, which is a little bit different, because 4K is such a bigger file size. The cameras that I use, they're like GoPros and GoPro knockoffs, and they have a file size limit of 4 gigs, and so they'll shoot for like an hour or 2 hours, but they automatically split the file up into 4 gigabyte chunks. And that's because a lot of the operating systems by default can only handle file sizes 4 gigs in size, and so they want their users to have the widest available and be compatible with the widest number of users' computers. So they split it up into 4 gigs, and with HD that's okay, because 4 gigabytes of HD is about 20 minutes, which is enough time to do time modulation and compress it into like a 5-minute video. But with 4K, that's only 5 minutes of footage, and so if you sped it up and did the time modulation to 5 minutes of footage, it only comes out to being like a minute, maybe like 40 seconds of it being sped up. So that's not good. And so what I did is I wrote a program, and it's going through all the files that have been split up, and it's combining them into one large file. I have my system, both the Linux and Windows and Mac. They're able to handle file sizes a lot bigger. I think the limit is the largest file size you can have right now is 2 terabytes, which is just like, who does that? I think the largest file I've ever had to process was an export that was maybe 800 gigabytes. But like I said, the file system can handle it. But so it's combining all the 4K videos for each drive into oh my goodness, I never switched it how to the medium format. There we go. I'm just talking away, and that's terrible. So what is the word? Oh, so it's combining them into longer sections. So it's like 40 minutes and 30 minutes of 4K. And then we're going to animate it live on Twitch eventually. We're going to be starting on the Milwaukee project pretty soon. I have to finish up the project park, but it's 90% of the way done. I just have to remove the 3D stuff that didn't work, and then write the script, and the VR is like almost ready to go. It's the same problem as the 3D. Some of the photos just didn't turn out, so I just have to delete them. I don't have to do any reanimation, but yeah. So we are almost done. I'll do one more photograph, because this one was so fast. If the next one's fast, then we will do another one, and then we'll reach the goal of doing 7, because this is the 5th one. Okay, so we have a lot of speckles. Do. Completely missed that one. It gets so much worse. I don't know what happened with this section of the scanner. I think there's only one section of the scanner that needs to be clean, and like every once in a while this is one of the images. Okay, we are almost done. I'm just gonna double check the bottom. Do. And save. So that's that image. I have Lightroom open in another screen. And that's how I'm opening them up so fast instead of having to go through the file system. Something weird has happened with Photoshop, where if I like double click on an image, Photoshop image, it won't open it up in Photoshop. Okay. Rearranging the slideshows. Okay. So let's get into it. This is at the Flint Farmers Market. That's what the photo is of. Whoa. pressed the wrong button. Not the wrong button, I was in the wrong window. So this is at the Flint Farmers Market. And they moved it from where it originally was. And it's like, they didn't move it that far, but it wasn't on our path that we drove. So we hadn't been there in like a couple of years. And we finally went there like a week ago. It's really nice in there. That's good. It's a lot more handicap accessible, which is what they said they were trying to do. We haven't found we had a cheese man. That's not his name. That's just what we call him. And we used to go like once every 2 weeks and buy just a ton of really good cheese. We had double Gloucester. I'm getting hungry talking about it. I was hungry before though. And double Gloucester it's like a cheddar cheese that's layered with blue cheese. And so it's layered just exactly what you think. It's like a half an inch of cheddar, then half an inch of blue cheese, and that is really good. And then they have this blue cheese that is mixed with cranberries. That is so good. And then they have this other thing which is like chocolate cheese. Fantastic. And it's a little bit like fudge, but it's not. It's still a cheese. And there were several other cheeses. Appenzeller, which is a Swiss cheese from Switzerland. They had kind of this cheddar cheese with like some chives in it. And what else do they have? I mean, he has a ton of cheeses. Goat cheese and all that stuff. So we would like load up on that. And we were like his favorite customers. And like he'd give us like free crackers and stuff with our order because we ordered so much. Whoa. Getting crazy with the pen. The stylus. Some of this is like the reflection. So we're keeping it in. Well, you know what? I don't think this is a reflection. I'm gonna remove it. Yes, moving along. Do 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 do. So this image is kind of going at a medium speed. There's not a lot wrong with it, which is good. And then when I was scrolling through social media, Instagram specifically, and like I kind of saw that DJI came out with a new Maverick Pro, and so apparently it has a Hasselblad camera attached to it, which is like kind of funny. I mean, I get it. it is a higher quality camera, and DJI actually bought Hasselblad, but it's not a medium format lens. And like they've been like I approve of DJI, you know, owning Hasselblad, but and they've done a lot of good things with their cameras, but I mean they still make a lot of medium format cameras, and they're still very pricey, but they're very high quality. But so the camera that's on it, I mean, I was going over the specs and it looks really good. They're talking about how it has a better color range and everything. I don't know what this is. I don't think it's supposed to be there. So we're gonna get rid of it. Just make this a black window. Okay, there's a little bit more dust. There always seems to be dust, you know, clumped together at one end of the film. It's either at the top or the bottom for whatever reason. And it's just the way it works. A little more work at the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna have to block you guys out for a second. And I'll remember to actually bring it back. It's taking a little bit. More work. Editing out the license plate. Okay, but it's done. There we go. Now we just go along the bottom. Okay, so that's that one. And then one more. Okay, so here we go. I don't see a lot wrong with this image. So hopefully it goes by pretty quick. Not a lot of dust. So like I said, I got a lot to do. Getting a little tired. I'm really sore. Like all my muscles. And it's like they're like, you know what? We haven't even started the recovery. Because that's what they are. What they're doing when they're sore. They're trying to recover. But they're like, we are just in shock. It's been a day. And so that's gonna be fun. Moving along. So after this, I'll start a creative rerun. It'll be a rebroadcast of the last time I did medium format restoration. Not medium format, 35mm restoration. And then this one will be rebroadcast. And then it will go into Project Newfoundland and Sleeping Spring. And it probably won't get through all this Sleeping Spring films, but it will. I'll probably start live streaming again before Sleeping Spring finishes. That's what I'm trying to say. We made it to 2 hours and 11 minutes. For streaming, like I'm still can't do long streams. Not because I don't want to, but like sometimes I just get kind of antsy and have to get up and go places. And so it's really difficult for me to do more than 3-hour streams. I mean, I'm getting to the point where I can do them, but like you have to have that time set aside. So I don't always have 3 hours I can set aside because there's like a lot of setup that goes into the stream, especially for creative streams. So I'm like working to stream and then streaming. So eventually I'm going to start getting up to 3 or 4 hour streams. Especially in winter when I'll have more time. Okay, we're done. So I'll start streaming sometime between 9 and 11 p.m. And we'll be working on Mass Effect the Musical. And then yeah, so I'll start the rerun right after this. So thanks for tuning in. I'll be streaming later tonight. Hope to see everyone there. Bye-bye.